Okay, so we are right back into another video for the Dragon Ball Super card game, and yes, I recently came back for the Vegas regional. Well, there's a couple things that I'm gonna be talking through. Obviously the first one is how I did. I didn't do too well. There's not too much to talk about. I'm so sorry. Long story short, as far as that goes, and also yes, I am gonna be going over the 5th place Pan Blue-Red profile that took Vegas, or took 5th. Okay, that was kind of redundant, but still. Who is also from Vegas, and as well as the 9th place, which is literally the same deck with a couple different changes. I don't have the person who actually is, or who actually made the deck and played it, but I do have a lot of different good information from him, and I'll go through that thought process. But yeah, anyway, long story short, for me, for the regional, it didn't go too well. I was very indecisive. I learned a lot of different things, and if you want to skip up this part, go ahead and skip this part. I'll put his timestamp in the description or the comment, whatever. But just a real quick breakdown, real quick summary is that you know, I learned a few things. So one, be very sure about your deck, be very format aware of your deck, and as well as be ready for what is going to be seen within the format as well. And yes, it is kind of hard right now as far as the meta and what to expect, and that was kind of the whole thing. So I went from blue green Beerus, that was a fun deck, but lost a lot to Pan, a lot of other blue red variants, and no matter how I built it, it just didn't really flow too well either way. It was a really good control deck though. Like if we were like a set behind, I think that it would be a pretty good deck. Other than Shigesh, like Shigesh is kind of annoying. Anyway, I went from red blue Trunks. That was another option. I also went through my own Pan variant, mono red, and then siding in blue. That was another option, and then a bunch of other things. Like I was experimenting with Joel's Jackie Chun deck, and then I was also experimenting with who's it? Oob as well. But then I was just like, I don't know anything, so I'm just gonna go with what I'm comfortable with, which was androids, and it was okay. I think I played as best as I could with a number of misplays, and again, long story short, I went X3. After 3 losses, I went ahead and dropped. Now, I'm gonna be very frank, very transparent as far as that goes. I was just like, there's no point for me to keep playing, so I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and hang out, see what everybody else is playing, and just kind of spectate a little bit, and maybe even participate in side events and just hang out. But anyway, so I took androids. It's my updated deck. It was okay, right? It performed all right, and I think what the real issue is that everybody's very used to androids, and there's only a number of things that really androids can kind of stomp, and I was a little wary about the time ruling as well. The time ruling in Vegas was after time is called, whoever has the most life wins, basically. And after the first game, if you won the first game and then the second game it goes to time and you have more life, you win that game. If they have more life, you tie it. So that's the thing. Like for androids, it's very slow going. If you don't win the first one, you're most likely not going to either win or you're going to tie the second one. So I was making a lot of mistakes in trying to rush and take a long time, and I think that was one of the things that I kind of messed up. The other thing was Hercule. So the first round was actually Hercule for me, and there were a number of Hercule decks. So there, like if you're going to be playing in Dallas, most likely you're going to be seeing some Hercule. You're going to see some Pan. You're going to be seeing Universe 7 Frieza. You're going to be seeing some rogue decks like Mecha Frieza. Oh my God, Mecha Frieza. You're going to be seeing maybe some androids. And you're going to be seeing what was the last one? Probably I'm trying to think. It's another world term. Oh, announcer, duh, it's right in front of me. Anyway, so you're gonna be seeing a lot of those, right? And I think androids has a lot of different, like a lot of other decks have a lot of answers to androids, right? So like red blue automatically has an answer through chain attack Zeno and as well as foreseeing hit against androids, and as soon as those things go off and as soon as you get you cell chain them, they can recover, especially Hercule. That was a tough matchup. Like if you're watching this, dude, my man like that guy went on to like the top tape, like table 5, the last round. I was like, okay, well that makes sense. He great, but I didn't expect the Xeno button. I had a perfect force cell. He had 2 life in. I swung with leader because I thought he was tapped out, or he was tapped out, and then he used Xeno button and comboed out. It wasn't great. And then he used a counter for perfect force cell. So that was always a joy. So that was a complete misplay. After that, I think I lost the second one, and then I played a what was the other 2 losses? So I lost to Mecha Apes. Yes, you're hearing that right, Mecha Apes. That was just tough. Like as soon as he got the big boy 5-drop, I do believe the evolve target. Yeah, right, 5-drop. Yeah, let's go look. Yellow. Yeah, King Vegeta, the Great Ape, absolute defense Great Ape Vegeta. This is still a busted ass card. Like, I can see why he took Mecha Apes. One, it's a very good road tech right now against Announcer, against everything else. That was most likely a free win for him against me. As soon as he got this out, everything was free. As far as the combos go, Unbreakable, that got annoying pretty quick. And then everything had barrier, so I couldn't pop anything with Speedy Surprise Attack or my cells or my Android 17, so that got annoying. And then I didn't really have an answer for anything else. The only thing I did have an answer to was my sideboard card, which is Fu Shrouded in Mystery. The only reason why I had that in my sideboard is because I knew that people were going to be soloing me out, or I'm going to be taking forever to do, or I'm going to be taking it forever throughout matches. So, I mean, that's the thing. It's really the only answer card that I had to Apes. And I got to a point where I could have done that, but because of his permanent, because it doesn't nullify any permanents, it only notifies any kind of autos or anything that's activated. Because of permanents, it's there forever as long as the card is there, and I couldn't get around that, and he took game. And after that, I was just like, dude, I just played Mecha Apes with my androids, and I'm like, how do I win that? I don't think that's a winnable game. That's an automatic loss for me. So the only thing is that if he misplayed, and he did not misplay, he knew everything as far as like Speed Surprise Attack and making sure that everything was on board before things happen, and having a Cold Bloodlust in hand. I cited in minus Killy Zone, and as well as Cronoa, shut down those things pretty quickly, but you know, over time it just didn't work out. Okay. And then after that, I took 2 wins against Vegeta Boo, the Ultimate Box Vegeta. That was a pretty easy one. It was just the fact of the matter of making sure his boos are gone, and then countering anything that I needed to, and then dropping his hand and taking game. That was pretty much it. And then I also won against Universe 7 Frieza. That was an interesting game. They went to 8 energy, like 9 energy, something like that. I just, like, he had Victory Strike in his hand this whole time, and I was like, dude, I'm just gonna keep dropping your hand, and then making, like, I was a little worried because he had Victory Strike and I saw him have it, and I did not have my barrier blocker 17, and then after that I was like, I'm gonna lose, aren't I? And he didn't get it out, so I was like, okay, here's my barrier blocker 17, killed his Frieza to make sure he doesn't evolve on it. And I was good to go. After that, it was just a 2-0 victory. But then I ran into a blue-red pin, and I was like, oh, blue-red baby, and I kind of misplayed there. I probably should have made sure that he had no hand to evolve on, because he was playing Triple Flash Goku, which is this man. What is he, a 6-drop, right? I think he's like a 6-drop. Pretty sure he is. 7-drop? I don't know. Oh yeah, he has a 7-drop. He's right there. So yeah, obviously if you don't know, he did just get errated to Red Saiyans. Obviously, Baby is still a Red Saiyan, I do believe, on both sides. If not, the new draft box leader is on both sides. I know that for sure. I mean, I can just look at it, right? I can just look at it right now. That's why I have it up, just so I can talk through the cards and different things. And Shenron's layer is just, he is just okay. I already okay. You wanna work? Anyway, I kind of misplayed there. He got out the Triple Flash, but then he didn't have enough to do something with it, and then I killed it. I took game 1, and game 2 I just kind of misplayed. In game 3, it just came down to combos. It was a really close game, but then I was just like, after that, I was pretty much done. I knew for sure if I went X3, there was no way I can get an invite or top. So I was just like, I'm out. And I just enjoyed the rest of the regional, and that's just the thing. So again, what I learned was, you know, take something that's format aware. So Hercule, Pan, maybe even my Trunks would have been a better choice against the matchups I went against, and as well as testing against things that are being tested as far as that goes, and being aware, because that's huge. That's very important. Like knowing the matchup and knowing how to deal with those things is very, very important. Even the mirror. Like if you haven't tested against your own mirror, you're doing it wrong. So definitely do that. And then yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. I mean I'm bummed out. Like I'm supposed to have an invite. Long story short, supposed to get a pass down for my star prelim, but it didn't. I don't know. Okay, I don't think I'm gonna go to Ohio anyway. Going on a tangent now. So if anything, let's talk about the deck. If you have any questions about anything else as far as my experience go, let me know. Yeah, I'll get into that. Where's the deck? Oh, here you go. Okay, so here's the deck. This is again John Mendoza's. So my bud, the local guy. Very. It's always an interesting time whenever he and I play. But if you do, I know you're watching this. I know you're watching this. But like every time that I play you, it's just so fun. It is a very much a fun time, and I would say that he is one of the best people I know as far as playing the game. Like definitely, and I think this top 5 take is definitely a show of it. I mean, I think in the last like few regionals in Vegas, he's done the same thing as well. So I'm more than happy to do that. So if anything, or more than happy to do this deck. So if anything, here's the deck. Yeah, so here's the deck. I do have the sideboard as well. When it comes down to it, for this deck, him and a number of other people, the other person who's hooked ninth, also made this deck, and they all came together to make it. So yeah, shout out to him. Shout out to Alex who took 9th. Shout out to Paolo. Shout out to Nico. Shout out to I guess Kaleo, and a number of other people, including Jake and everybody else. So yeah, shout out to everybody. The Losers Club, if you ever saw them, if you're at the Vegas Regional and you saw them with the little shirt, the little logo on them, that's the Losers Club, and that's who did all this and played Pan. So I should have played this. Like I mean I should have. They were letting me know to play it, and I 100% should have played this. I love Pan. I think even with the matchups that I had, I think I would have done a little bit better. I don't know how I would have done against Mega Apes, if I had to be honest. I think Chain Attack, and as well as I personally play Mono Red, and Kaba is my choice as far as like attacking in active mode. But that's just me, of course. Topo does work at 2. I think is the perfect number right now. Just spending 2 energy for him is kind of very much costly, even with Sensu Bean and untapping another red energy. I mean, that's just me. Anyway, so again, shout out to everybody else. Shout out to them. If you're just here for the deck, here you go. If you need a sideboard, there's a sideboard. Okay. So as far as when it comes to the deck itself, they chose it because of the new ruling for Chain Attack Zeno. So if you didn't know, the actual new ruling for Chain Attack Zeno is that when you hardcast or when you play Chain Attack on top of a Intensifying Power Trunks without playing Trunks itself, so the Chain Attack Trunks would be the first card played, not the 1-drop Trunks. If you play the 1-drop Trunks, it gets the draw, or the 5k, and you don't get the extra draw. But if you play the Chain Attack Trunks hardcasted or on top of the Trunks for Evolve, you do get the draw because of that. So what happens is that the pending auto for Pan, you get to choose on your turn player before Zeno. So Zeno activates first and negates everything on the field, resets the field, and then you activate the Pan auto in order to get the draw. And that's basically what it is. You draw 6 and you awaken generally if you have 4 life, or if you have whatever life, and then you get to attack, draw another one. It's a very good play. It's very strong. It's awesome, right? And the thing is that basically just resetting the game, starting with 6 cards with us, or on your end, and then 5 cards on theirs. That's the main reason. Also, Pan is very, and I do agree with this, very good at being offensive and as well as defensive. Fearless Pan is huge. Like, that is such a clutch card. Having access to intensifying power trunks for seeing hit and burst attack is also super good. I actually play 3, but I play mono red, so I mean that kind of makes sense. 2 is really good here. I don't hate it. And chain attack has pretty much 1, 2, 3, yeah, 3 targets. I mean, it's not too much of a big deal. And I really like Supreme Kai of Time Light Sky. So I think that's probably one of the best cards, especially after a Zeno. Like, I play this at 3 because after a Zeno I want to see it. And even before the Zeno, you can actually do this, draw 2, basically 1 for Pan because she's 15 or more, and then draw 1 because of her effect and gain 5k. But if you do it after the Zeno, and then play it right after the Zeno, wow, okay, you're effectively at 20k, drawing 2, drawing another one, 3 cards, and you're at 9 cards in hand, basically, in order to play the rest. And your opponent has to deal with a 20k Pan, a 20k Supreme Kai, and a random Zeno, and then whatever else that you play. You could play a Zeno, a Senzu Bean after, etc. So again, very strong deck. Makes me want to play it again. So here's the sideboard real quick. Again, I already said that. The Chrono is there for obviously Shigesh. Again, the road decks are running around Mecha Frieza, and along others. There's other ones like someone was saying like Lemon Lime Frieza, like the Galactic Frieza or the Golden Frieza. I think it was Golden Frieza. No, I think it was Galactic Frieza, in which obviously has Cold Bloodlust, Shigesh, and was a yellow-green variant, I do believe. I think Super Players was playing that. Anyway, neither here nor there. This is for Granoa. This is for yellow and green matchups. When we were playtesting, me and John, just a little bit against my Androids against his Pan. As soon as he sideboarded this card, like I won the first one, he sideboarded the second game. Actually, absolutely tore me down. And it's because what you could do is chain attack into, and this is a pretty well-known combo, chain attack into Haru Haru, and then she untaps 4. You could use 2 energy for that to evolve on top of a Intensify Prior Trunks as well, if you have 4 energy, and then use 2 red, and then right after untap 4 energy. Right after that, you could use Foreseeing Hit, and now you have a 20k body who probably has the 25,000 for Pan and draw, a 15k critical, and then as well as seeing their hand stripping 2, and then a 20,000 Foreseeing Hit. So I mean, it's a really good game ender, especially if the opponent is very low on cards. Anyway, that's for the green and yellow matchups. This is for, I'm guessing, another one. Again, I run 3. He most likely was like, you know what, I probably need to run 3 and sub out something in order to get the extra draw and see her a little bit more. This guy is for the bigger boys, like Cell or whatever. Same thing for Mafuba. So like things like Buhan, things like, you know, I'm sure you know. And then Unending Awakening, an extra gate, most likely for the blue-yellow matchups, and as well as the same thing for Giru. I think he's a little slept on. I was like halfway mainboarding this man, but I was just like, nah. I want to see other cards so that way I can get the draw instead. Because as soon as you play him for free, you're not getting the value out of Pan as much as you need to. And then basically the reason the way that they came up with the deck is to have a balance between any kind of matchups or against any matchups, which was you know, anything that anything that came across, like for Blue Yellow Huracan, which is pretty much the top deck right now until this meta settles out. It does well with Senzu Bean, Whis, and as well as Unending Awakening. So I mean that's an option. And then a number of other decks like I'm trying to think really as far as other decks like Announcer, like Hercule, maybe Hercule. I don't know. That was his only tie. Oh, excuse me. Against that was his only tie as far as the day goes. And Massaian against Announcer and as well as Blue Yellow is really good as well. What else? But yeah, he was saying that early in the game you know, to make sure to sustain as well as go aggro early, and then right after go ahead and Zeno and then play it out. His matchups looks like, let me see. First one was blue yellow Huracan, not a surprise there. He went 2-1 on that one. The second one was Mecha Veggies. Wow. Okay, I do believe that was that was one of our local guys, Jake, who played Mecha Veggie. Shout out to him. He 2-0'd him, so sorry, Jake, my bad. And then the third was Huracan Veggies. That was a very popular deck in Vegas. Like, I didn't realize how many Huracan Veggies I actually saw, but I saw at least 4 to 5 of them. And at the top tables, I know for sure one of our local guys was, you know, table 1 through 10, one of those in the last couple of rounds. So I mean, they were doing pretty damn well. That was the 5th round. 2-0'd him, and then 6-1 was the Pan Mirror. I don't think he says 2-1, but come on, John. We all know what happens. We all know what happened. Okay, he says 2-1. He got the win. Let's just okay. 7. The 7th round, because there were 8 rounds, was announcer. That was 2-0. Oh, I missed the 4th round. My bad. 4th round was actually Danny Hype. He went against him with Hercule. They tied in time. So the funny thing was that I was right by them in showing, and I do believe Danny was facing the other way from the clock, basically. And during that time, he was just he didn't realize, one, that they were tied in life, and 2, that he finished his combo. I do believe I didn't hear the whole thing, but as I understand, he didn't finish his combo in taking down John 1 life. And if he did that, because they were tied at the time, he would have won that one instead. So instead, they went ahead and tied and didn't get it. So that's my understanding. If like Danny or John, if you're watching this, let me know if I got that wrong. But it was the whole thing about time. They just tied, and it was whatever. He was saying that he only won 1 game because he decked out. Like, he made him deck out. So he said nothing in his side or main could handle it, and I can understand that. Like, this is a very good tempo slash like defensive into aggro deck or aggro into defensive deck, but it doesn't really keep up with the draw power like Hercule does. And Hercule just kind of draws whenever he wants and can draw like 5 to 6 cards in 1 turn, easy. So I can definitely understand that. And then yeah, 7th round was announcer, 2-0'd him, and the 8th round was Huracan Apes. That was a very interesting game to watch. I didn't catch all of it, but he did go 2-1. I believe he went him win 1, the opponent win 1-1, and then him win the last one. So I mean, that makes sense. I don't know why I explained it that way, but that's what I was trying to remember what was going on. Anyway, the last one was very close. It seemed very close, and I do believe that was the same guy who was playing Apes in LA. I do believe. So again, if you're watching this, let me know. That's pretty much it. I feel like that's really the only thing that all the things that I really wanted to go over. I didn't want this to go too long either. He also stated that the only changes that he would make, which I don't know what he would drop for, maybe the Kais, or maybe, I don't know. I really don't know. But putting in 2 to 3 championship Vegetas, and as well as digging deep. I personally am a very big fan of digging deep in Pan, because you play him, you draw 1, he gets 20k, you attack, draw 2, and then you can awaken at any time if you're at 6 or 5 or whatever. And then now he's at 25,000 attacking, and then getting dual attack, and then you awaken, you get to play something else after drawing 2 cards, untapping 2, and then getting the flip side effect, and then swinging again for another card, 25,000, and then another attack if you play a card. So I'm very much a big fan when it comes to digging deep. I know it's a little bit of a situational card, but I'm cool with it. Anyway, that's it. If you have any questions, again, definitely let me know. I'll put the link for this one and make sure it's public in the description below. And I'll definitely get back to you in the comments as far as other things go, and I'll reach out to John if needed. Yeah, I'm at a loss at what else to do. Hopefully in the next regional that I can participate, I won't do as badly. If anything, I will see you in the next one. Like, dislike, subscribe if you're new. Later.